猫ちゃんは日向ぼっこがしたいんだとさ。
この辺でいいな。
ああ、いい日当たりだ。
すまなかった。
で？
いや、悪かった。この通りだ。
は？
So after last week's episode of Adventures, I guess it might be easier just to call it Ningen Fushin, although I have no idea what that really means. So we'll just call it Ningen Fushin. I can't say that either. Adventures. We'll just call it Adventures. Last week's episode, I came on here and I expressed my disappointment in the episode, and a lot of it was just the way that it was about the conveyance of technology and everything. And a lot of you guys in the comments, we all have our own opinion. A lot of you guys in the comments were stating things like, oh, a lot of anime have done technology and fantasy setting before. And I want to make it really clear that, like, in no way, shape, or form was I saying that technological advances or machines and stuff can't be blended with a fantasy setting. It's about how they convey that to the viewer, right? Like, if they make it a point to where they kind of say, technology's blended, then I think it's completely okay if it's done right. But last week's episode, we had the priest guy, what's the priest guy's name? Zem. And Zem he was baffled and surprised at, like, the light bulb. And they're going into, like, a laboratory and stuff like that. So, like, again, I don't think technology and fantasy setting don't mix. I think when the characters are ignorant of technology existing, but then they respond like that. But then there's other moments to where, like, they have technology. It becomes very weird for us, the viewer. So that was my main point last week. But overall, I was just disappointed. I didn't think last week's episode was very good. So with that being said, going into episode 5, I was a little bit skeptical, I was a little bit of a skeptic going into episode 5. Like, hey, what are we going to get? What are they going to deliver on? Are they going to be able to kind of bring it back? And I'm here to say that episode 5 wasn't, like, amazing or great, but it was a good episode. And I think this episode, we got, more of a focus this week on Tia, who I think Tia is one of the more unique characters that's on offering here. And we got kind of like the beginning of Nick's revenge arc as well. So I think those two things alone made this episode a lot better. The other piece of it, too, is the boy 𝐜𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥, the weapon or whatever. I don't like that character. I think that character is incredibly, incredibly annoying. And I hate when anime includes, like, a child or, like, a cat or a spirit or a fairy or a pixie. That's just incredibly annoying. Like, just high pitch, and just, like, not funny. Just an annoying character. Like, it's a real turnoff for me. So I'm hoping that they're light with that and that they don't overdo it, because, like, that character can get really, really old really fast. And it's one of those that, if it's too overbearing, that could be the thing that kind of, like, makes me drop the episode and be like, you know what, I'm just sorry, we're not covering this anymore. So far, I think it's been okay, but it definitely has I see the potential, I see the writing on the wall for that to be a incredibly overbearingly annoying character. So I'm crossing fingers that doesn't end up being the case. So I talked about the two things already that I really loved about this episode. First off is I love how we got some backstory on Tia. And we got to see kind of, like, during her during her time, like, graduation time, when she was graduating from the academy and kind of moving on. Apparently, the situation that she got herself in, she got one of her teachers kind of, like, roped into her thing that was going on, and she basically ruined this guy's life. Thankfully, he seems like a pretty easygoing guy. Probably has his own motivations. At the end of the day, she said that this situation that she was in caused him to not be able to get promoted to a sage. At the end of it, this dude was probably in his 40s or 50s, probably in his 50s. He's an old dude already. So, yeah, he wasn't able to get promoted to a sage, but he probably wasn't really worried with it, you know what I mean? And he seemed like he was having a good time and just kind of, like, dealing with life in strides. And I like how he was kind of like a jokester, and he even had, like, a real heart-to-heart moment with her, and then he started cackling. I thought that was a pretty funny thing. So I really enjoyed seeing more of Tia or Tiana. I guess is her name Tiana? Tiana's backstory. So I think that was interesting. I like how there was an overarching narrative of not everyone's situation in the survivors party is an ideal situation. They're all kind of living like crap at this point. Basically, they all have like a mattress and some clothes. Basically that's pretty much all they have. Nick is probably the one that's the most well off, but he has like a bunch of, he's surrounded by like idol stuff, posters and stuff, which is, he's probably the best well off. But for the most part, they're all dealing with some struggles. Then we moved into Nick's revenge arc with that. Her name started with the C. Katarina, Corina. I don't know. Claudine. Her name was Claudine. I got there. Her name was Claudine. So, he has his ex-girlfriend who basically like swindled the crap out of him or whatever. And they go to the restaurant to eat, and he witnesses her doing the same thing to somebody else. And he was able to have his revenge and stop her from it and make her look absolutely like ignorant and stupid and silly. And he was like, I was like, yeah, you get him, Nick. And the episode ends with one of her lackeys essentially attacking him and then challenging him to an arithmetic bare knuckle fight. I don't know what that means. Also, the guild lady hit him with a pen. He got hit, like a little pen just went, bah. And even the tiger was like, you couldn't dodge that. I thought that was a hilarious moment too. So overall, I like the revenge. I live for revenge. I love it. I like the focus on Tiana. I think she's one of the more unique characters here. Probably the best one in IMO, in my opinion. Mainly because we saw Kieran's story, and I didn't like her story at all. I thought it was stupid. So I really like this one quite a bit. So overall, I would say this episode was better. So hopefully next episode is even more better. And at this point, I'm going to hope that they kind of lean on dumb, funny, like truly funny antics going forward, and less on trying to actually be serious about the storyline, because I think that's where it falls apart. So hopefully next episode continues the silliness, arithmetic bare knuckle fight. Probably really funny. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. And my friends, I shall see you guys next week for episode 6. But yeah, put down in the comments what you guys thought about the everything and the annoying character. All right, see you guys next week. Peace.